So we back occult Sunday services. Occult Sunday services. We're back, guys, for your regular scheduled program occult Sunday services that we hold every Sunday. Or at least try to hold every Sunday. If you guys are catching this on the replay, you should sign up for our what do we call it? We call it our email list. In our email list, we send out practical guides, study guides, right? We send out practical study guides with each chapter that we have read. Technically, we at the end of this book, and today we're gonna go over the chapter called, which is not in every book. See, that I've now that I've spoke to a lot of people that's been attending and reading along. This chapter is not in every book. The emails have been sent out to those. What's happening? What's happening? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? We're in here and we're back for Occult Sunday services. We are reading Young Yoga by Swami Vivekananda, the profound, the prolific Swami Vivekananda. All right. We are in chapter 13, remix 40. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Back again. I see you continuously showing up, man. I'm loving exactly what you're getting. Hoping you are loving what you're getting over here on this channel. Today we're going over the practical. How is it practical? I've been already been saying it. Has been practical because I've been using it practically in my life. So if you sign up to the email list, you already got the study guide for this chapter, or it should be on the way. So we're gonna go over the practicalities of this specific school of non-dualism. So this is technically chapter 13. Damn. It's technically chapter 13 of this chapter. Of this book. We're gonna give it some time, let some more folks, let the beat build, let more folks get up in here. But make sure I got the chapter right over here. Hopefully everybody been having a good week. A week where they were shown the obstacles that they ran into. Actually, somebody hit the like button for me. The obstacles they ran into are actually opportunities for them to grow. Opportunities for them to grow into who they are as they self. Who are you? Whatever you went through this past week, hopefully you had the opportunity to switch on observer mode and get a different or a higher level of perception of who you are outside of the mind and body complex. Somebody please hit that like button. What are we doing here? So hopefully you had that chance. And that's why I say it's always an opportunity for you to grow, as far as knowing thyself, knowing who you are. When I say you, I don't mean just the mind body complex, who you are, which is great as well. Know who you are as a person and not accepting the mask or the conditions that society puts on you. But we talking about you as the non-dual one-pointed source, which we call consciousness. You always get the chance to switch on observer mode and observe the manifest reality. And your body and mind is the manifest reality. Do not count it out. It is your mind is the matrix itself. So last week we read the chapter of the real and the apparent man. We got to talk. Is that the last chapter we read? The real and the apparent man. So we got to breaking down what is the man of the illusion and what is the man of the apparent, was the man of the illusion, and then you have the real man. We're not talking about man as in a human form man. We're talking about the self. What's the true you, the higher self, if you want to call it that, the soul, the real entity that does not die. Rose of Flame, P, what's happening, my dog? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So, what's the real you? What's the real self? Who is that? What is that? Have you been identifying with that, or have you been identifying with this? Not this sexual chocolate here, but as your mind and your body, and the the pretenses or the precursors of the mask that you wear in society. Are you identifying with that? Oh, I'm a nice guy. I'm a mean guy. I'm an asshole. I'm a lover. And nothing's wrong with that. But you need to zoom further back. You are the one that observes that person, because it's obvious that you can watch yourself. You've grown from what have you? Greetings from Turkey. Peace, peace, all the way to Turkey. Peace all the way to Turkey. Yeah, we get into this at the way tonight. You know it, Rosa Flame. This chapter is called Practical Non-Dualism, and I know it's not in everybody's book. I'm not sure if you have it in yours, Rosa Flame, but I talked to some others, and they said these next three chapters are not in a book, so it just depends on okay, you can hate whatever you want, buddy, but it just depends on, you know what I'm saying, how everybody rolling with it, because it's three parts of Practical Vedanta before we get into our next book, which is called, for those who don't know, this will be our next book here. All right, I'll leave that. I can see that. That's the next book that we will be reading as a group. We will be reading this as a group next. So screenshot that. You can get that as a on Amazon. That shit $5, bro. I don't see no reason why nobody couldn't afford it and get it. Probably like $8 with shipping. You know what I'm saying? If you want the real one, or you can just do your thing and just get what we like to call the PDF. That's even free. Okay, Rose Flame, so you got the P. So do you have this version in your? Do you have this chapter called Practical Vedanta? Oh no, we ain't there yet, because I noticed. I'm like, well, fuck it, let's see how this chapter rolls out. We would have been rolling into that new book. Y'all, please hit that like button for me. Yeah, I know we gotta let people know that other people like this shit, and if other people like this shit, then they'll like this shit, because they see other people like this shit, and they'll tap in and maybe hate this shit, but maybe love this shit. You did? Yeah, we still on Guiana Yoga. Yep, Rosa Flame. Yeah, let me know if you got this chapter of Practical Vedanta inside of your book, because a lot of people tell me they don't have it in their book. I found the PDF and I was gonna read it from the PDF, but I said let me not use StreamYard today. Let me stick to my phone, because every time I use StreamYard, it get the flaking up on me. So, but yeah, wait for Roll the Flame. Let me know something. So yeah, we went over what's the man of the illusion, and then the real man, the real you, the real self, the person that's not identifying with all these objects. Because what does the ego do? For those who don't know, the ego attaches itself to objects. I am okay. He said his book doesn't. Okay, so that means, see, that's what I'm saying. So majority of people who've been reading along is not even in their books. So what does the ego do? The ego says, I am white. I am happy. I am sad. I am, but there's no way. Yeah, I do like this vape. So there's no way that we can be the things that we are attaching ourselves to. Because if I say that my vape, it's obvious that that I that's in the vape is mine's is separate from me. So when I say my happiness, or I am happy, or I am mad, or I am sad, or I am black, I am rich, I am poor, there's a separateness there. That's what the I is doing. The ego is doing. It's attaching itself to the object. So I am depressed. Oh damn! See, read me 40 just said something about it. I am depressed. You are not depressed. Depression is its own thing, is its own concept and its own object that the ego likes to latch itself to. That's why I say there's always a moment for you to hop into observer mode and observe that object. What's an object? Everything. Everything, every thought, every concept is a thing to pure, unconditioned consciousness. We have to get that through our mind, which means the mind is observed by pure, unconditioned consciousness at all times, which means what? The mind is a object. Let's see. Okay, he said his ends with the real, apparent, a real and apparent man. Yeah, a lot of people telling me that. He said it depresses me that some see no okay, so let's talk about that. remix for it. It depresses me that everything I have worked for in life will be somewhat useless when I die. It doesn't have to be useless, and it should not depress you. Depression is not. You are not depression. You shouldn't. What I'm not. I'm gonna say it shouldn't. I'm not saying that it isn't depressing you, and that's where you have to switch on that observer mode, because like, what are you really losing when you die? The same thing you were never going to have the whole time you were here anyway. You lost your childhood. If that's the case, your childhood is no longer with you. Do you feel like you lost your childhood? Because your childhood is nothing but a bunch of memories. Do you feel like you lost your teenage years? Do you feel like you lost your first job? Do you feel like you lost your first T-shirt? Does that depress you? If those things don't depress you, then all the stuff that you're doing in life should not depress you at the end of your life, because you can't take them with you. So you know that already. But the thing is, we remove ourselves from dealing and checking that. This is what this type of system does. It puts that into check, because you're not losing anything. That's why you're getting depressed, because you think you're losing something. You're thinking something is useless. It's very useful. This life is very useful. Everything that you have done in this life is useful. Didn't we talk about karma and what a man, the actions, which means actions, karma means action, right? So then we talk about how every action that a man has done is what pushes this man into his next lifetime. For you to be able to run into this type of information, you had to have done something right in your past lifetime. That's why I say stick around with this channel or book a consultation. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go too deep into this, because this could hold up the whole night. But I have no problem with, you know what I'm saying, sitting. Don Tree, peace, 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 peace. This person always come in and tell me, can you grab a camera for Lamar Jackson in it, bro? But yeah, nah, bro. Oh, you said, oh, you did say or saddens. Okay. But same thing though, bro. You can't let it, because that's mean you getting attached. That's the real attachment. Detachment happens in the mind, right? We got to understand that we are not attached. You know you can't keep this body. Hell, you know you can't keep that car you got. One day it's gonna break down. Hell, you know you can't keep that dollar. You're gonna have to spend it. You know you can't keep that same bottle of water. One day, as sooner or eventually, you're gonna finish drinking all that bottle of water. What is the sadness? We're holding on to something because we don't want these things to change. But manifest reality change. That's why if we start to identify with pure consciousness, that unchanging thing, that thing that watches everything change, for us to say something changes, there has to be, listen, for us to even say things change, there has to be something that is changeless. What is that changeless? Nature. And that's what we call pure unconditioned consciousness, because it watches everything, it observes everything. It is complete joy, it is complete bliss. It does not go through any of these ups and downs that the human body and mind goes through. Remove yourself from that by switching on observer mode at every chance you get. Watch yourself like a movie. He said I slipped in nihilism as well because of that as well. Well, come on over here, my brother. We switching to non-dualism at the waiting style type shit with a little bit of hood nigga mixed into it. You see what I'm saying? Every opportunity is a chance for you to get closer to realizing who the fuck you are. Really realizing who the fuck you are. And I think we've all been into that position of some nihilism, coming into this old cult shit. So don't feel like outcast. Look, and then Rosa Flame just said that. That can definitely happen. That lets you know that other people here have been through it as well. You're not the only one. So don't feel outcasted for thinking like that or having those type of thoughts. But guess what? Those are thoughts. Those thoughts are not you. How do you know that? Because multiple thoughts come through, and there's one thing that's always observing each and every thought. The ego is the only thing that hops out and latches onto it. So your ego has hopped out and latched onto, oh, I'm nihilist. Not right now, but I'm nihilistic. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm saddened. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. Because I am is going to have to always be. But you can't always be depressed. I bet you ain't depressed or saddened when you're eating your favorite cereal or your favorite snack, or when you see your favorite person in the world, or see a, you know what I'm saying, or see somebody, whatever's beautiful to you. You see what I'm saying? So you're not always depressed. We create that inside of our head and we latch on to it. That's what we're here to do, to detach from it. Detachment. This is the real detachment. This is the real non. This is the real non-attachment. The real renouncing. This is the real renouncing the world. It's not running off and being in your own little corner away from everybody, right? So that's the cosmic P over here that we push. So if you join, let me put this inside the Discord. Let everybody know that we live and we finna hop straight into the chapter. If you just joined and hit that like button, you just joined and please hit that like button, dog. Hit that like button, dog. Okay, hit the group chat. Hop it on up in and out. Let everybody know we live. Because it is what it is. Especially while we in the field. Alright, here we go, here we go. Here we go. Ah, someone know who's Lord Ganesh is. Damn it, you caught me. I didn't think anybody would know. Drop that in the Discord. Let's do it. Alright, practical Vedanta. Hope you real niggas and real bitches is ready. Ready to get out of suffering. If you ain't ready to get out of suffering, this is not your channel. Uh-oh. Got me through the door. Practical Vedanta, y'all. Om Gong Ganapati Nama. Oh shit. Yeah. Lord Ganesh, my best friend. Oh shit. Look, I'm over here trying to fix up my Lord Ganesh picture and then knock it down, dog. I didn't try to knock it down. So let's stick that back inside the wall. There we go. Alright, y'all. Hopefully that's showing good. Can y'all hear me clear? Let me not start. Somebody drop down. Somebody drop down in the comments. How do I sound? All right. Rosa Flame say I'm clear. I'm clear. I'm clear. Like I've told y'all before, we have, matter of fact, let me pull this up. We got my boy Don Tree in here, motherfucker, dog. Got my boy Don Tree in here, motherfucker. Let's see. We got Rosa Flame in here, motherfucker. We got Remix 40 in this motherfucker. I'm putting the what's the name inside the chat, y'all. Hold up. Let's go in. Oh, Discord email list. Cause the next book we gonna go into, y'all. Let me pull it. Let me get showy. Here, motherfucker, right here. Boy, that motherfucker right there. Showed y'all. Put it on the Instagram and put it into the Discord and put it on the YouTube and everywhere else. It's a real short book, y'all. Told y'all that motherfucker like. Well, okay. 108, 108, 108 pages. Yeah. Real short, but very, very, Very profound. Okay, so roll the flame. So this is in your this is in what you found. Okay. Okay, so somebody else got it. If not, that's why we got the picture up. I mean the book up so we can read along with each other, y'all. All right. With my pen, here we go. It says Practical Vedanta Part 1. I have been asked to say something about the okay, let me turn my phone on. Do D&D, get notifications from fucking TikTok, and it'll disrupt me. Yeah, he said, imagine we was all taught this as children. Shit, we probably wouldn't have took heed to it, to be quite honest. I don't know, growing up in America, I just feel like it's different than a lot of places. You see what I'm saying? Typically what you grow up, typically, not saying always, but typically what you grow up learning, you often go up to reject it. You see what I'm saying? Rosa Flame just put the PDF inside the chat for y'all who want to read along. So we typically reject what we get as kids. You see what I'm saying? Especially when we got trauma surrounded by it. And here's the thing about it: everybody has trauma. I know a lot of people like. I know we all as human beings like to say, "Oh, my trauma was more traumatizing than your trauma." You know what I'm saying? But if we look at the base, just trauma in general, trauma is trauma. Trauma as trauma itself. It's all the same. It all trauma push you. Remember when he gave in the chapter, he said like it's like being in a room full of like hammers and mallets, and a ball comes through the door and get bounced, boom, 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 knocked and knocked this way, knocked that way, knocked this way. That's what trauma is. That's what suffering is. It's doing it, boom, boom, pressure, boom, 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 knocking you everywhere, and then eventually leads you to some shit like Vedanta. Or for some people, it leads them to shit like you know what I'm saying, tantra or the shit that the yogis do, or it may lead you to the tree of life, or it may lead you to Christianity, or it may lead you to, you know what I'm saying, nihilism, or it may lead you to EFI, or it may lead you to Wicca, you know what I'm saying? It may lead you to being a witch, you know what I'm saying? Like it just depends. You know what I'm saying? Or it may lead you to being a fucking atheist, which I think he gets into in this chapter, right? All right, let's go. I have been asked to say something about practical position of Vedanta philosophy. As I have told you, theory is very good indeed, but how are we going to carry it into practice? If it is absolutely impractical, no theory is of any value whatever, except as intellectual gymnastics. See, that's what you got to talk about. Like, that's the real reality. Are you we trying? Because a lot of shit helps you play intellectual gymnastics. You get to toss around word salads all day. I know a lot of people like to do that. I know we like to do that. Toss around word salads. And that's why I fought with this because it's like, hey, now we can toss around a couple word salads, but we have to sit and make it practical. I'm giving it to you because it's made a change in my life. I was already doing a lot of these practices and didn't even know there was a system that's, you know what I'm saying, set around it. And I've learned other practices, which you all have access to inside of the Google Docs, inside of the PDF files already. Let's see. If it is absolutely impractical, no theory is of value whatsoever except intellectual gymnastics. Vedanta, therefore, as a religion, must be intensely practical. We must be able to carry out, hold up, we must be able to carry out in every part of our lives. And not only this, the fictitious differentiation between religion and the life of the world must vanish. You hear that? The fictitious differentiation between the religion and the life of the world must vanish. It should become as one. Yep, that's right, Remix 40. Yep, Rose of Flame. So that's what I'm saying. You see, that's very key what he said. The fictitious differentiation between religion and the life of the world must vanish. You should not be feeling like, okay, I'm doing something spiritual. Okay, now I'm doing some worldly shit. Okay, I'm doing something spiritual, and now I'm doing some worldly shit. If a system has you like that, then that's dualism, and that's what's fucking us up. That's why I keep telling y'all. That's why I like the non-dualism, because you'll be able to merge it all together. Once you lift the veil of ignorance, if y'all joining, please hit that like button. Y'all hit that like button so somebody else can know that y'all actually liking this content, and it may help somebody else. You never know. That can be your karma yoga right there. You see what I'm saying? Just that simple. You can be doing karma yoga, doing something that can benefit somebody else. I know it may not seem like, oh, you talking about YouTube, oh, you talking about the like button, but that's literally how it works. This information can potentially help somebody else. YouTube pushes it out, and people see it and see that other people liked it. You know how people do. How many views it got? How many likes it got? I ain't clicking on that. That right there can be considered a version of karma yoga. That's what I'm saying. Make your life spiritual. You don't. Technically, it already is, but you just got to lift the veil of ignorance of thinking, okay, I'm doing this and this is spiritual. And when I do this, is not spiritual. All right? We make it one. Look, he can say that. For Vedanta teaches oneness, one life throughout. The ideas of religion must cover the whole field of life. They must enter into all our thoughts and more into practice. I shall gradually take up the practical side as we proceed. But this series of lecture is intended to be a basis. And so we must first apply ourselves to the theories and understand how they can be worked out, not only in forest caves, but also in busy cities. How many of y'all live in a busy city? How many of y'all live in a busy city? Hey, Lisa, I holistically agree. And I can tell you may come from a different system because of the word that you use, Elohim, but that don't mean no difference over here. We agree with exactly what you're saying. You definitely accept it over here. You see what I'm saying? You speaking the same language we speak it. You speaking the same language we speak, and I definitely agree with what Lisa just said. The soul controls the mind. The mind controls the body. The soul is the divine self, which is created in the image of Elohim. That's actual, factual. That's cosmic P. You see what I'm saying? Because I be telling people be saying like what a nigga be saying on here and be like, oh, hey man, we nigga ain't against none of that. Whatever anybody, you know what I'm saying? We just here's where the world gets caught up. That's why I told you everybody's right. The world gets caught up in, oh, this person says God, this person says Elohim, this person says Yahweh, this person says Allah, this person says Krishna, this person you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, it's the same shit in principle. If we can get the same principles understood, we can move forward. It don't matter what system you practically working in or working with. Since I could use the identification as an occultist, guess what that means? Guess what that means? I can use some of all this shit. I can take a little bit of this, I can take a little bit of that, take a little bit of this, and put all that together and use it on a daily basis. Nothing like some good old water. Okay. Even in busy cities. And one peculiar future we shall find is that many of these thoughts, instead of being the outcome of retirement into the forest, have emanated from persons who we expect to lead the busiest lives. Right? So it doesn't mean you have to have a life of seclusion, no job, no doing this, no doing that, and I'm just recluded from everybody. No, some of the highest, so-called highest, not really highest, but some of the most pristine beings have lived some of the most busiest lives. You see what I'm saying? And still tapped in. Let me raise my seat up. And one peculiar feature we shall find is that many of these thoughts, instead of being the outcome of retirement into the forest, have emanated from persons who we expect to lead the busiest lives, from ruling monarchs. Ketu was the son of Aruni, a sage, most probably a recluse, right? No, facts, facts. Hold on, damn, I can't read all of that. Okay, okay, Lisa. Okay, Ketu was the son of Aruni, a sage, most probably a recluse, most probably a person who was recluse from the rest of society, right? Okay, let me move these books from over here so I can. Yeah. So make sure that we can just slide this over. He was brought up in the forest, but he went to the city of Panchalas and appeared at the court of King Pravana, Javavali. The king asked him, "Do you know how beings depart, hence at death?" Basically, do you know how people depart at death? No, sir. Do you know how they return hither? No, sir. Do you know the way of the fathers and the way of the gods? No, sir. Then the king asked other questions. Ketu could not answer them, so the king told him that he knew nothing. The boy went back to his father, and the father admitted that he himself could not answer these questions. It was not that he was unwilling to answer these questions. It was not that hold up. It was not that he was where am I at? It was not that he was unwilling to answer these questions. It was not that he was unwilling to teach the boy, but he did not know these things. So Ketu returned to the king with his father, and they both asked, to be taught these secrets. Listen, right? You don't know something, you want to know something. Hey, fuck it. Let me ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? So teach us these secrets. The king said that these things had hitherto been known only among kings. The priest never knew them. He proceeded, however, to teach them what they desired. In various Upanishads, we find that this Vedanta philosophy is not the outcome of meditation in the forest only, but the very best parts of it were taught or were thought out and expressed by those brains which were the busiest in everyday affairs of life. Hold on, we right there. Let me see some of these comments. Damn, I'm missing a lot. The whole dropout thing is potential. Is another thing of potential traps. Yup. For some, that's the move. For most, just grow up and take responsibility. Right. How could how should oppressed people handle their subjugation? Using spiritual knowledge in a practical way. You answered that. The ruach, the spirit, is always in the feminine, and when likened to a tree, it is only the female species of the tree that produces the fruit. Um, King said, "Oh, the king said you don't know shit." Lisa says to remix 40. Know the fullness of thyself and patience. Our awakening is the target of the enemy. And here's the thing about that reawakening: the enemy can't do nothing about it, because one way we can look at it is a group. We need to rewake as a group, which never happens. That's just not how it happens. It's an individual awakening. You know what I'm saying? And that individual awakening cannot be stopped, because that's just the age and what time it is. Now there can be things put in front of that person who is awakening that could potentially pull that person away from getting this information and understanding and living this life of a person who has full recognition of the self. That's why we said in Trav the other day, hey, you know what I'm saying, questioning that free will. Maybe the only choice that you do have is to identify with the body mind complex in or identify with the true self, thyself, pure unconditioned consciousness. The one. That's the only choice you got. Everything else may be predestined. I don't want to get into free will. I don't know who's watching, who's feeling gonna be heard about that one. But nonetheless, what do you want to identify with? You want to identify with the mind, body, and the ego? Fine. You got something for that ass. You want to identify with pure unconditioned consciousness or the self or whatever the fuck any system has for it. This system uses Brahman or the Atman. You got that choice. That's your choice. Them the two choices that ass got. So government, the enemy, nah, don't exist. They weak. They can't do nothing to us. Can't stop nothing. They just acting like it. They just acting like it. Let's see here. We cannot conceive of any busier than an absolute monarch, a man who rules over millions of people. And yet some of these, rulers were deep thinkers. Everything goes to show that this philosophy is very practical. Later on, when we come to the Bhagavad Gita, most of you perhaps have read it. It is the best commentary that we have on the Vedanta philosophy. Curiously enough, the scene is laid on a battlefield where Krishna teaches the philosophy. Where Krishna teaches the philosophy to Arjuna. All right. So, and that's a specific reason you got to think about that. Why would they lay that out? Why would they lay this story out on a battlefield? You know what I'm saying? The people who had the knowledge and wisdom, why did they write this story out to take place in the middle of a battlefield? Because known to man, ever since man becomes civilized, we know war is some of the most egregious shit. Some of the most, you know what I'm saying, terrible shit to us. So it placed it there to like, okay, like what's the worst of the worst situation that people thousands and thousands down years down the line can still see if they get the essence of it. Oh, well, Arjuna did still get enlightenment while even being a damn soldier on a battlefield, which is metaphorically, right? While even being a soldier on a battlefield. So of course I can get it if I live a life of a family man, if I live the life of an Amazon worker, if I live the life of a biker, if I live the life of a YouTuber, if I live the life of a whatever, of course I can get it. You see what I'm saying? That's the message they was leaving. And the doctrine, which stands out luminously on on every page of the Gita, is that of intense activity, but in the midst of it, eternal calmness. That's what we're doing here. All right. We're over here. We're not talking about running. None of my content has been about that since I started. Before I ran into this non-dual shit, which I've only been doing YouTube a year, but I've been active in spirituality and spiritual practice for 13 years. None of my content has never been, hey, don't go out there into the world and do no, nigga, don't be of the world. Be in it, not of it. Is this not the same thing that is being taught over here? Be in it, but not of it. In the intense activity, but in the midst of it, eternal calmness. Be in it and not of it. You got to have an internal calmness, an internal dignity, and an internal knowing. Do everything that you do. So let's see. This is the secret of work to attain, which is the goal of Vedanta. Inactivity, as we understand it, and the goal of Vedanta. Hold up. Inactivity, as we understand it, in the sense of passivity, certainly cannot be the goal. Were it so, then the wall around us would be the wisest of things, for they are inactive. See what I'm saying? It's not about being inactive, because if that's the case, the walls on your in your house, the walls in the building that you're in right now, would be the wisest. If you just join, please hit that like button. Clouds, hold up, clods, clods of earth stumps out trees would be the greatest sages in the world, if that was the case. For they are inactive, nor does inactivity become activity when it is combined with passion. Real activity, which is the goal of Vedanta, is that which is combined with eternal calmness. The calmness which cannot be ruffled, the balance of the mind which is not disturbed, no matter what happens. I gotta highlight that because that's it. That's what I'm all about here. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. The balance of mind, which is not disturbed, no matter what happens. You don't know. You like what's the name in the lion's den? You know what I'm saying? What's the guy in the Bible name who had to be in the lion's den and still kept his faith? Nigga, you gotta be like that. Ain't they talking about World War III right now? Who's shaking up? Who over here scared? Yeah, Daniel in the lion's den. Who's shaking up? Who's scared? Where your faith at? What you bitching, moaning, whining, crying about? You gotta know whether you saying it's the self, or whether you saying it's God, or whether you saying it's Jesus, or whether you saying it's Allah. Your faith should not be shaken. You should not be worried about shit. That don't mean you can't know a little bit about it, but I would not fill my mind up with that shit. That's all I would say. Damn, ain't nothing like some good water. That's it right there. Calmness in the face of all odds. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and Lisa says Daniel means God is my judge. That's it. And if you know thyself, then you know that you are your only judge. So that's you. I said on this, I'm standing on this, I'm standing on this, but in reality, you get by yourself and get to thinking, man, damn, man, I don't really believe that shit. I ain't really standing on shit. I don't really, yeah, yeah. Can't be like that, man. You can't be like that. All right? Your heart cannot be heavier than a feather. Lighten your heart, man. That means lighten your attachment to the outcome of things. Lighten your attachment to those thoughts that randomly pop up. Like Trav was saying on his live the other night, those thoughts that pop up in your head. Same shit we saying over here, those thoughts that be popping up, they don't be yours. But what the ego does is attach itself to it. So I attach myself to sad. I attach myself to depression. I attach myself to hurt. I attach myself to fear. Those thoughts don't be yours all the time, man. And we don't have time to sit there and try to decipher which thoughts are mine. Don't attach yourself to them. Period. Observe those thoughts. Watch them without an attachment of emotion. That's the trick to this world. Because what I keep telling y'all, the mind is going to do what the fuck it's going to do. Which is kind of reverse of what you're saying, Remix 40. You know what I'm saying? Empty your attachment to your mind. Which is, I would say that more. And it's not me attacking what you're saying. I just want to be more clear because the mind is going to be full of shit. That's what it's here to do. It's going to continue to do that. But you don't have to continue to latch on to those thoughts. Every thought doesn't need an action. And you got to understand, thoughts can be actions themselves. So when a thought comes up and then another thought comes up about that thought that you just had, and just a whole bunch of thoughts get to link starting from that one thought. That's what you don't want to happen. That's what we're talking about. That's the trick. That's the trick. I have been told many times that we cannot work if we do not have the passion which men generally feel for work. I also thought in that way years ago, but I am growing older, getting more experience. I find it is not true. The less passion there is, the better we work. The calmer we are, the better it is for us, and the greater is the amount of work we can do. When we let loose our feelings, We waste so much energy. Listen, when we let loose our feelings, we waste so much energy, shatter our nerves, disturb our minds, and accomplish very little work. The energy which ought to have gone into work is spent in mere feeling, which counts for nothing. It is only when the mind is very calm and collected that the whole of its energy is spent in doing good work. And if you read the lives of great workers the world has produced, you will find that they were wonderfully calm men. Nothing as it were, nothing as it were. If you just joined, please hit that like button. Like, subscribe. Nothing as it were could throw them off their balance. You see what he's saying here? Nothing as it were could throw them off of their balance. Hold up. Nothing as it were could throw them off of their balance. That is why the man who becomes angry never does a great amount of work. You ever notice that? You ever notice that? That is why the man who becomes angry never does a great amount of work. And the man whom nothing can make angry accomplishes so much. You think we're not highlighting that? Think we're not highlighting that? Oh, shit. That's it, Curve. My motherfucking dog. Curve in the building, dog. Yes, sir. My motherfucking dog. Curve in the building. And he always come in when least expected. This nigga's like a monitoring spirit of of love, peace, and prosperity. I tell you that. Goddamn it, Curve. Welcome, my brother. Welcome, my brother. Welcome, my brother. You always come in and drop a gem like that. Remain calm. The problem will solve itself eventually. Let's read that first comment he said. Make sense. Passion can make that pendulum swing from anger to happiness. And if you are a student and understand the seven hermetic principles, that's what they talk about. The law of dealing with the law of mentalism. The one who knows how to stay in the middle of that pendulum and don't get swung from one end of extreme to the next end of extreme has become a master. And I'm trying, and I don't want to boost myself, but hey, now, that shit is not it. Let your shit get swung from one side to the next. That's what's going on with the World War III right now. You was happy yesterday, now you're extremely in fear. Oh my God, what Donald Trump? Y'all voted for him. Why y'all vote for him? Y'all voted for him. He's stupid. That man doing, that man racist. He hate blacks. He hate Mexicans. He hate this. Get your ass caught up in that shit if you want to, because why? We normal people, we have compassion, so we feel for people, which I'm not saying that it's not wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have compassion and feel for people. Fucking obviously. Shouldn't nobody have to teach you that. That's duh. That's a fact. But you have to understand that the world stage, the movie, the play that you're watching is designed to do that. Get you engraved up in it. You see what I'm saying? To get you deeply invested in it. Not as an enemy. It's not the enemy. It's just what it is. And those who have lived incarnations after incarnations and understand this, somehow they find themselves recluding themselves. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get out of what's the name, you know what I'm saying? We get out of alignment and start being cruel towards people because the world seems to be fucked up because that's how we perceive it through our lens because we so-called went through all this suffering. And then you run into a YouTube channel like this, then you run into people like this inside the chat. You see what I'm saying? Who once felt that way as well. And then, oh, now I get it even better. If you're just joining, please hit the like button. You know, YouTube treat people different based off of how many likes and comments they got. All right. Tragedy had he said monitoring spirit. Let me read it off my laptop. Curve says tragedy has to happen so people can see when they are powerless and they can still remain calm and allow things to play out. The more you fight it, the more you struggle and go back and forth. That's it. That's it. I honestly think it's that simple. And that's exactly what Vivekananda is saying right here. That's exactly what's going on. So let's continue, right? And that's what we went over that in the paradoxical world. I got a video that we did a couple days ago called the paradox of reality. It's a fucking paradox. The man who gives way to anger or hatred or any other passion cannot work. He only breaks himself to pieces and does nothing practical. It is the calm, forgiving, equitable, well balanced mind that does the greatest amount of work. Why are we not highlighting that whole paragraph then? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Cause you can't do shit when you all emotional or too emotional. That does not mean don't have emotions. But you can't do shit practical. You know what I'm saying? When you get your balls busted or your ovaries busted, ladies, or your breasts busted. What's say Lisa say? You can also learn from being swung from one extreme to the other after you get sick of. No, that's the only way you're gonna learn. You see what I'm saying? So the people that understand that, basically what Curve has said or what Vivekananda has said, what I'm saying, and what you're saying, Lisa, the people who have learned from that understand this. That's the only way you're gonna learn. Shit. And you just get sick of it. It takes longer to learn, but it takes longer to learn, but a road worth traveling if you don't know any better. Hell yeah, Lisa. I hope you perform. I said performing. Hope you subscribe. I like what you putting in it. I like what you put inside that chat. You seem to get it. All right. Vedanta teaches the ideal, and the ideal, as we know, is always far ahead of the real, of the practical, as we may call it. There are two tendencies in human nature: one to reconcile the ideal with life, and the other to, you see that? And the other to elevate life to the ideal. It is a great thing to understand this, for we are often tempted by the former. All right? We are often tempted by the former. What's the former? To reconcile the ideal with life, and the other, or the former, to elevate life to the ideal. All right. It is a great thing to understand this, for we are often tempted by the former. I think that I can do a certain kind of work. Most of it perhaps is bad. Most of it perhaps has, hold up, most of it perhaps has a motive, power of passion behind it, anger or greed or selfishness. Now, if any man's come to preach to me a certain idea, the first step towards, hold up. Now, if any man comes to preach to me a certain ideal, the first step towards which is to give up selfishness, to give up self enjoyment, I think that that is impractical. See? So when somebody comes and tell you, they like, man, I ain't hearing that, I ain't doing that. What you talking about? Hell no, fuck that. That's not, man. Can't nobody do that. Can't nobody do that in America. We can't do that shit, bro. So you telling us we don't need to get money? So you telling us we don't need to have money? I got kids. How am I gonna do that? You see what I'm saying? But check this out. What do you got to say? But when a man brings an idea which can be reconciled with my selfishness, I am glad and at once jump at it. This is the ideal for me. As the word orthodox has been manipulated into various forms, so has the word practical. Uh-oh. My doxy is orthodoxy. Your doxy is heterodoxy. So with practicality, hold on, is it? Yeah. Hold on, what the fuck? So with practicality, what I think is practical is to me, what I think practical is to me, the only practicality in the world. If I am a shopkeeper, I think shopkeeping the only practical pursuit in the world. If I am a thief, I think stealing is the best means of being practical. Others are not practical. Do you see how we all do that, right? You see how we all do that, right? It's from our own perspective of whatever walk of life that I'm living. So this is why they have, hold up, you have young yoga, the yoga of knowledge, which we're learning right now. Then you can have karma yoga, right? The yoga of action, of selfless action. Then you have bhakti yoga, right? The yoga of devotion. Then you have, I'm bringing my boy Coop on here. He's a yoga instructor. Um, Coop does hatha yoga. I think it's another name for it, but basically the stretching yoga of the body, right? And then you can have Raja yoga, meditation. People are of different temperaments, which means everything is not one size fit all. Some people come in more under a devotional umbrella. All right. Some people come in more of a selfless action type of person. Some people come in more of I want to sit down, be recluse, and do my meditation type of person. That's just the way it is. Damn, I'm missing something. Okay, appreciate that, Lisa. Curve said, took my passionate ass a minute to learn this, but this year I finally got it. Nothing affects me. Dig that. Elevate. Can't do a selfish life. At least not me. Not entirely anyway. But I try not to be selfish. Okay. 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 You working towards it. You know what I'm saying? So, and like he's saying right here, what's selfish for one person may not be selfish to the other person. You see what I'm saying? And I think like I know everybody here may not be hip to it, but I still have a Facebook, and on my Facebook, I've seen a lot of people talking about this girl named B Simone. Real quick side quest. Let's see where I'm at, and this is real. This attends to exactly what we're talking about here. All right, we're gonna okay right there. That's where we at. And B Simone was having this conversation with her best friend, and her best friend was going through some things, and B Simone is going through some things. She's like B Simone is like this famous. I don't know what she's famous for, but she's famous for some shit. So and she's having this conversation with her friend, and her friend is like, you know what I'm saying, you in your selfish area. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't reject it. She was open, and that's good because she was open to hearing what her friend saying. Like, damn, why you say that? You're like not selfish in that way, but you focused on self right now. Like you healing and you going through this journey of self healing and realizing who you really are versus who you thought you were and the shit that you got famous for. So you actually in that selfish area. So her being an understanding friend, knowing that it's not like, hey, I'm rejecting you because you know what I'm saying. I only care about myself, but this is that self care place. You see what I'm saying? So what can be selfish to one person can be selfish to another. Damn, did y'all take some likes away? Damn, y'all cold blooded with that. Hey man, hit that like button. Damn, nigga, y'all lame as hell. Let's see. Let's continue though. You see how okay. So we said it can be different for everybody, right? Let's continue. If I am a shopkeeper, I think shopkeeping the only practical pursuit in the world. If I'm a thief, I think stealing is the best means of being practical. Others are not practical. You see how we all use the word practical for things that we like, right? What'd you say? What'd you say, Curve? Got to be selfless. Got to be selfish to be selfless. So we say things are practical for things that we like, right? And can do. Therefore, I ask you to understand that Vedanta, though it is intensely practical, is always so in the sense of the ideal. It does not preach an impossible ideal, however high it may be, and it is high enough for an ideal. In one word, this ideal is that you are divine. Thou art that. Twamasi. Thou art that. Right? I'm telling you, this is why I fought with Vedanta. If you're just joining, hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, jump in the comments, say what's up, say fuck you, whatever you want to do. All right. In one word, the ideal is that you are divine. So, what's their top teaching? What's their top teaching? Thou art that. You are that. You are the highest of the highest of the highest of the high. All right. This is the essence of Vedanta. After all, its ramification in intellectual gymnastics, after all its ramification in intellectual gymnastics, because it does exist, you know the human soul to be pure and omniscient. You see that such superstitions as birth and death are entire nonsense when spoken in connection with the soul. Are y'all hearing that? Are you hearing that? So they can play the intellectual games with you, but what is this? What is it saying? The human soul is a pure omniscient, and see that such superstitions as birth and death are entire nonsense when spoken in connection with the soul. Only in connection with the soul. Relatively, yes. Yes, the mind does die. Relatively, yes, the body does die. But when we're talking about the highest of the highest, that's the real you, that's superstition, buddy, and it's nonsense. The soul was never born and will never die. All right? Now we're getting into the actual teachings of what they're talking about. All right? Okay, Gordy. Jesus is king, bro. Okay. The soul was never born and will never die. And all these ideas that we're going to die and are afraid to die are mere superstitions. And all such ideas as that, you hear? And all such ideas as that we can do this or cannot do that are superstitions. Listen, and all such ideas as we can do this or we cannot do that are superstitions. We can do everything. Vedanta teaches men to have faith in themselves first, as certain religions of the world say that man who does not believe in personal God outside of himself is an atheist. So Vedanta says that a man who does not believe in himself is an atheist. As a man, as certain religions of the world, hold up, say that a man who does not believe in personal God outside himself is an atheist. But Vedanta says, what? But Vedanta says, what? So Vedanta says that a man who does not believe in himself is an atheist. That's what they call atheists. You don't believe in yourself, buddy. Come on now. So it ain't, you see what I'm saying? How this system is not teaching you to lean towards, oh, Krishna, oh, what's the name, and oh, this, and oh, that. You don't have to. And I know because I've been studying the system, so it's not that you don't get to use a personal God. You have one. But you know ultimately that it's you. You see what I'm saying? It's one thing to think that, oh, that's that God and it's personal to my mind and it's not me versus, yes, this is the image that I know that is me. You see what I'm saying? It's you. It's ultimately you. Not believing in the glory of your own soul is what the Vedanta calls atheism. Telling you no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. We pushing that P. Too many this is to many this is no doubt a terrible idea. And most of us think that the idea that this idea can never be reached. But Vedantas insist that it can be realized by everyone. One may be either man or child, woman or child. One may belong to any race. Nothing will stand as a bar to the realization of this ideal. Because as Vedanta shows, it is realized already. It is already here. That's the beauty of this shit. It's not telling you that you got it. That's why I keep saying shit like that. It's not telling you that you have to do all these rituals. It's not telling that you have to know all these signs and symbols. It's not telling that you have to sit down and meditate for 30 goddamn years. It's not telling you that you gotta go believe in something, even though they just use the word believe, but you get that right. So it's not telling you that. It's telling you that it's already here. It's already realized. We already know that we are the changeless. You see what I'm saying? We already know that's what we are. Even the most ignorant man know that. How do you know that the most ignorant man knows that? Because they say I. We start off our sentence with I feel this, I do that, I am that. Hint, hint, hint. What is this I? That is something. I was a child. I was 13. I was 12. I was 14. How are you all of these different things if you are the thing that never changed? You are that same one who was 1 year old. You're that same one who was 20 years old. And you're that same one who was 60 years old. It never changed. Never changed. All right? It's already there, Vedanta, is what Vedanta is telling you. All the powers in the universe are already ours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes and cried that it is dark. Do you hear that, man? Come on, man. It's you that's doing the shit. It's you that's catching on and latching on to those fucked up thoughts that you wish you never had. It's you that's catching on to those fucked up ideas that you don't want to identify with. You are the one doing it. We are the one doing it. This is accountability. If you just join, hit that like button, please. Know that there is no darkness around you. Know that there is no darkness around you. Let's read that sentence again. All the powers in the universe are already yours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes and cry that it is dark. Know that there is no darkness around you. Let me sit this up here. Take your hands away, and there is the light which was formed. Oh, my bad, man. Take your hands away, and there is the light which was from the beginning. And there is the light which is there from the beginning. Darkness never existed. Weakness never existed. We who are fools cry that we who are fools cry that we are weak. We who are fools cry that we are impure. Thus, Vedanta insists only that the ideal is practical. But it has been so always. And that this ideal, this reality, is our own nature. Everything else that you see is false, untrue. As soon as you say, I am a little mortal being, you are saying something which is not true. You are giving the lie to yourselves. You are hypnotizing yourselves into something vile and weak and wretched. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not attach yourself to being weak. Do not attach yourself to being depressed. Do not attach yourself to being stressed. You are doing it. Hear me. The mind is doing it. Not the ultimate you, but the mind is doing it. You are telling yourself a lie when you subscribe to that type of shit. You're telling yourself a lie, man. Stop lying to your goddamn self. Especially when you've been over here for 13 chapters reading shit like this with us. That's why you get study guides to take home to read over by yourself. You see what I'm saying? To sit with it. You are hypnotizing yourself into something vile and weak and wretched. Vedanta recognizes no sin. Do you hear that? Vedanta recognizes no sin. It recognizes only error. So it's not a sin, but you are in error. And how do you correct the error? By coming into knowledge, by coming into Gnosis, by coming into what they call Jnana, Vijnana, true knowledge. All right? The highest of the highest knowledge, that I am Brahman, that thou art. I am pure, unconditioned consciousness. The highest of the highest knowledge. Anything that's knowledge that's not that is the lower knowledge. It doesn't mean that it's not useful and appropriate, but it's lower knowledge. You can know it. You can know if the moon is in Aquarius. You can know the correlation between Malkuth and Yesod. You can know Mercury, and you can know, you know what I'm saying? You can know what Baphomet means. You can know that be lie Eve means be a lie, and then whatever. You can know all of that shit. You can know melanin is this and this and this and that. You can know that, oh, we come from this Andromeda star system. You can know what crypto is. You can know what Donald Trump and the secret societies are really doing. You can know all of those things, but don't forget that's lower knowledge. In the greatest error, it says, is to think that you are weak, that you are a sinner, a miserable creature, and that you have no power and cannot do this or that. That's the greatest error. All right. Every time you think in that way, you are rivet, as it were, one more link in the chain that binds you down. You adding one more link to the chain. You adding it. You doing it. You slaving yourself. You add one more layer of hypnotism upon your soul. Therefore, whosoever think he is weak is wrong. Whosoever think he is impure is wrong, and is throwing a bad thought into the world. This we must always bear in mind. In Vedanta, there is no attempt to reconcile. Why do you think they have so much, like, oh yeah, so many people going through depression, so many people going through depression? It's reinforcing that thought. And they put out little symptoms and say, oh yeah, I have that symptom. Oh yeah, I have that symptom. Oh yeah, I have that symptom. You just linking yourself down, just locking yourself down, just locking yourself down, just locking yourself down. In Vedanta, there is no attempt to reconcile the present life, the hypnotized life, this false life which we have assumed with the ideal, but this false life must go. And the real life, which has always existed, must manifest itself, must shine out. No man becomes purer and purer. It is a matter of greater manifestation of the perfection that has always been in him. The veil drops away, and the native purity of the soul begins to manifest itself. Everything is ours already. Infinite purity, freedom, love, and power. Let's read the comments. Gaia says, love Neo Vedanta and global Hinduism. Maya is what people call the matrix nowadays. You can call it the matrix. You can call it the illusion. Ultimately, it's just a limiting force that, you know what I'm saying, keeps you in ignorance of. It doesn't even have to be in ignorance, but it just basically hides your divinity for the game. It limits. Maya limits, but it's technically what people call the matrix. Sure, I'm on the give me form. Okay. Welcome, Gaia. Welcome, Gaia. Vivid Bars Kananda. Rose Flame to my Vivid Bars Kananda. No sin, only Adharma. Layers of Maya. Okay, yep. What is my okay, yeah. Okay, so we got that together. Okay. Alright. You see how he just pushed that P on you, right? Yeah, nigga, take back your power that was actually never taken from you. You just adapted to the mindset that you don't have power. Yeah. You are that. Thou art that. Vedanta also says that this can be realized not only in the depths of forest or in the caves, but by men in all possible conditions of life. We have seen that the people who discovered these truths were neither living in caves or forests, nor following the ordinary vocations of life, but were men who with very reason to believe, led the busiest of lives. Men who had commanded armies to sit on the thrones and look to the welfare of millions. And all this in the days of absolute monarchy. And not in these days when a king is hold up. And all this in the days of absolute monarchy, and not in these days when a king is, to a great extent, a mere figurehead. Yet they could find time to think out all of these thoughts, to realize them, and to teach them to humanity. How much more then should they be practical? How much more should they be practical for us, whose lives compared with theirs are lives of leisure, that we cannot realize them as a shame to us, seeing, hold up, seeing that we are comparatively free all the time and have very little to do. My requirements are as nothing compared to those of the ancient absolute monarch. My wants are nothing compared to the demands of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. I can't say that. Commanding a huge army, and yet he could find time in the midst of the din and turmoil of battle to talk the highest philosophy, to carry it into his life. Do you hear that? In the midst of the den, in Lion's Den, Daniel's Lion Den, and turmoil of battle, to talk the highest philosophy and carry it into his life. Surely we ought to be able to do as much in this life of ours, comparatively free, easy, and comfortable. Most of us have most of us have more time than we think we have, if we really want to use it for good. With the amount of freedom we have, we can attain 200 ideals in this life, if we will, right? If we will. But we must not degrade the ideal to the actual. Here is a great danger. There are persons who teach us how to make special excuses for all our foolish wants and foolish desires. Let's see what's going on in chat. Bro, I'm gonna have this book, bro. I have this book. It's separate from Jnana Yoga. Just a little, just a little book called Practical Vedanta. Oh, so it's still Swami Vivekananda, but it's a different book called Practical Vedanta. Is what you're saying, Kurt? I mean, not Kurt, but Rose of Flames. So they made it a separate book. I think mine just combined it. Okay, read me what it says. Good. Appreciate that guy, the sage. Yeah. Appreciate that guy, the sage. If you drop the link to your YouTube in here, we got people over here who will subscribe to you as well, as I will. So I have been absent. But does this philosophy permit fighting in a war? It's not that it's permitting fighting, but if that is your if you are already in that line of work and you know what I'm saying, and you fighting, that is what it is. Carry out your karma is what he's saying. Carry out your dharma, carry out your duty, if that's what you're doing. But what it's saying with that quote about Arjuna being in the battlefield and getting the highest teachings of philosophy, what is basically just being used to let you know, like, hey, even in the midst of the worst shit you can be doing in this world, which is fighting war, you can still attain enlightenment of the highest teaching of the knowledge of self. Hopefully that made it clear. Because it's not on some, like, oh hell yeah, raise up a war and go fight evil. Because they stopping us from realizing higher knowledge of self. No. That's not what this teaching is about. That's not what this teaching is about. Oh, Rose of Flame said yes. Okay. Okay. Cool then. Okay. So it actually is out there. It's just a separate text. Gotcha. Okay, so he says, where's my pen? So he said, there are persons who teach us how to make special excuses for our foolish wants, foolish desires, and we think that their ideal is the only ideal we need to have. But it's not so. Vedanta teaches no such thing. The actual, hold up, the actual should be harmonized with the ideal. So the actual should be harmonized with the ideal. The present life should be made to coincide with life eternal. For you must always remember that the central idea of Vedanta is oneness. Remember that. Basically, if that ain't what you do, don't fight in a war. You see what I'm saying? Don't get your ass hopping out there talking about some freedom and freedom and freedom. You know what I mean? So well, you can feel that, but I'm talking about on an actual fighting level. There's nothing wrong with freedom and you know what I'm saying? Because like, of course, we don't want nobody to be oppressed. But guess what? You don't know what the elites have pushed in your face and told you that this is the worst country in the world. We should learn that by 9/11. This is the worst country in the world, and this is the worst, and we have to join together as a country and stop them. That ain't got shit to do with you. It ain't got shit to do with you. And I'll leave it at that. I don't even want to get into that, all that. Too much of that. The actual should be harmonized into the with the ideal. The present life should be made to coincide with life eternal. For you must always remember that the central idea of Vedanta is oneness. There are no two in anything, no two lives, or even two different kinds of life for two worlds. You will find the Vedas speaking at first of heavens and things like that, but later on, when they come to the highest ideas of their philosophy, they brush away all things. There is but one life, one world, one existence. Everything is that one. The differences are of degree and not of kind. Don't that sound like Miss Dion Fortune got that from somewhere? Hmm, hmm. Miss Dion Fortune got that from somewhere. The differences are of degree, not of kind. Uh-oh, Miss Dion. We know you got some of that that yogic teaching from the West, some of that Vedantic philosophy, Miss Dion. Okay. Everything, everything, everything. That one difference of degree, not of kind. God is one and God is all. Right. Do you believe in what the war is fought for? Not the act of the. Oh, he talking remix 40. The differences between our lives are not of kind. The differences between our lives are not of kind. Listen to that again. The differences between our lives are not of kind. Vedanta entirely denies such ideas as animals are essentially separate from men and that they were made and created by God to be used for our food. Well, Mr. Swami, I love me some chicken. Some people have been kind enough to start an anti-vivisection society. What? I asked a member, why do you think, my friend, that it is quite lawful to kill animals for food and not kill one another and not kill one or two for scientific experiments? He replied, vivisection, vivisection is most horrible, but animals have been given to us for food. Oneness includes all animals. If man is immortal, so also are the animals. The differences are only of degree and not of kind. The amoeba and I are the same. The difference is only one of degree. In the form, the standpoint of the highest life. And from the standpoint of the highest life, all differences vanish. A man may see a great deal of difference between grass and a little tree, but if he mounts very high, hold up, in grass, hold up, if he mounts very high, and if he mounts very high, the grass in very high and the grass in the biggest tree So if you sit up very high, the grass and the biggest tree will appear the same, right? So you get inside that plane, the grass and the tree gonna look the goddamn same. So from the standpoint of the highest ideal, the lowest animal and the highest man are the same. If you believe there is a God, then to him the animals and the highest creatures must be the same. A God who is partial to his children called men and cruel to his children called brute beasts is worse than a demon. I would rather die 100 times than worship such a God. My whole life would be a fight with such a God. But there is no difference from the standpoint of God. And those who say that there is are irresponsible, heartless people who do not know. Here then is a case, and what y'all talking about? I'm vegetarian, but eat what you want. Facts, perspective, right? Perspective, right? Here then is a case of the world. I mean, Here then is a case of the word practical used in the wrong sense. We eat meat not because animals have been given to us for food, but because we want to. I may, I myself may not be a very strict vegetarian, but I understand the ideal. When I eat meat, I know it is wrong. Even if I am bound to eat it under certain circumstances, I know it is cruel. I must not drag my idea down to the actual and give excuses for my weak conduct. The ideal is not to eat flesh, not to injure any being, for all animals are my brothers. If you can think of them as your brothers, you have made a little headway towards the brotherhood of all souls. Not to speak of the brotherhood of man, but to carry this out is no child's play. You generally find that this is not very acceptable to many because it teaches them to give up the actual and go towards the ideal. But if you bring out a theory which can be reconciled with the present conduct, they regard it as entirely practical. Remember what he said earlier? Huh? Look at Cody, bro. Cody always pop in vegetable tails. What up, Cody? Peace, peace, peace. This is a strongly conservative tendency in human nature, right? We do not like to move one step forward. I think of mankind as being like those I have read about who have become frozen in the snow. Remember them, the White Walkers? All such, they say, all such they say, want to go to sleep. And if you try to drag them out, they say, let me sleep. It is beautiful to sleep in the snow. And they die there in that sleep. So is our nature. That is what we are doing all our life, getting frozen from the feet upwards and yet wanting to sleep. Therefore, you must struggle towards the ideal. And if a man comes who wants to bring that ideal down to your level and teach religion which does not carry out the highest ideal, do not listen. Listen, listen. Therefore, you must struggle towards the ideal. And if a man comes who wants to bring that ideal down to your level and teach a religion which does not carry out the highest ideal, do not listen to him. To me, that is an impractical religion. But if a man teaches a religion which presents the highest ideal, I am ready for him. Beware when anyone is trying to give excuses for sense vanities and sense weakness. If anyone wants to preach, their way to us, poor sense-bound clods of earth that we have made ourselves, by following that teaching, we shall never progress. I have seen many of these things. I have had some experience of the world. And my country is a land where religious sects grow like mushrooms. So many religious sects in India. Every year, sects arise. But one thing I have marked, that it is only those who never want to reconcile the man of flesh with the man of truth who make progress. Wherever there is this false idea of reconciling fleshly vanities with the highest ideas of dragging down God to the level of man, there comes decay. Man should not be degraded to worldly slavery, but should be raised up to God. Coop TGS, peace, peace, peace. At the same time, there is another side to the question. We must not look down with contempt on others. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we still got some pages left, boy. Yeah, we still got some pages left, my boy. You know, we're near through. Let's see. Gaia says, one should think about the ethics of ecology, of the what one eats, but one should also understand that life requires the consumption of other life to survive. Facts. That's it. Because like you killing plants and plants, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, you vegan, you ain't eating nothing but plant food, you killing plants too. You still murdering plants. And plants are part of the brotherhood. You know, hey. But that's what I'm saying. Like some people, you have to understand certain traditions. See, I'm not about just adopting someone's whole tradition and try to live up to their tradition. But I'm also not against it. So I like to balance out. Take what I like and use it. Take what I can use and make sure it provides me with the right challenge and make sure I'm just not trying to make excuses. You see what I'm saying? Just to make shit work. I agree with the vegetarian concept, but fish, eggs, milk, that's all good. That's all good food as well. And meat is practical if it's kosher. Like chicken, cow, and probably not pigs though. So true, guy. The ecosystem must be sustained. Facts. My boy Majors Coop, the Yogi Cooper Nana, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, my dog? That's my boy Coop that I was talking about earlier. He teaches the let's just say the physical yoga. We'll have him on sooner than later. You know, it'll pop up. He's a yoga instructor himself. Rose Flame said, "Man, 4 chapters. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, practical Vedanta parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I got all 4 of them. I just I want to make sure that everybody is down to stick around for that, and we can go into that. But we still going, y'all. We still going. Yeah, we got part 4, so we still going. Before we hop into this book, that I'm letting everybody know this is gonna be our next book that we read. That is on. Screenshot that. Take your ass to Amazon. It is on Amazon. It is on Amazon for $5. Let me see if I can drop the link. Motherfuckers on Amazon for $5 y'all. And it's a fucking gem. Do you hear me? Let's see. I'll drop that link in the chat for you. Oh yeah, we already tapped in with that guy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. We got the other shit. We got the Karma Yoga. We got the Raja Yoga. We got all the well, not we, but I do, which they can have too. We got it. So this is the next book that we read. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Sri. Listen. Okay, yeah, that's Sri Ramakrishna. Both around 1,000 pages by the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center. Yeah, yeah, I'm tapped in with the Vedanta Center. What up? Let me show you. Well, shit, when you get booked from the Vedanta Center, they send you little what's names like this. I thought I had another one up here. Let's see. But yeah, yeah, we get little shit like that coming straight from the Vedanta Press. I'm most definitely tapped in. That's what I'm on. Heavy, 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 heavy. That's what's up, guys. Like I said, drop your other YouTube channel in here that you said that you that way you can get some people to subscribe to you. And like I told you, I'm gonna subscribe to you. You said the channel that you commenting from is not your original channel. So Come on, man. I'm trying to drop the link in here for y'all. There's the link for the next book that we read. Just dropped it in the chat. So those going to save it to your Amazon save for later list and come back in here and finish watching the show. Herrera 1 2 3 4. What's happening? What's happening? What's up? 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 Meanwhile, they're like eating everything moving and crawling in the east. Rats, snakes, and bugs. So inside the chat, that is the next. That is the next. That is the next. That is the next. Let's continue. All right, it says. Oh, Cool TGS said just ordered it. Like that. That's what I'm saying. We getting busy over here. Niggas is serious about this shit. We getting busy over here. That's what I like to see. Please, if you just joined, hit that like button. Like should match how many people are actually watching. Don't y'all think so? Don't y'all think so? I think the like should match exactly how many people are watching. So please hit the like button. Oh, okay. They're going, okay. I ain't even gonna say nothing to y'all. All right, cool. All of us are going towards the same goal. The difference between weakness and strength is one of degree. The difference between virtue and vice if one is one of degree. The difference between heaven and hell is one of degree. The difference between life and death is one of degree. All differences in the world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything. All is the one, and the one manifests itself either as thought or life or soul or body. This being so, we have no right to look down with contempt upon those who are not developed exactly in the same degree as we are. Condemn none. If you can stretch out a helping hand, do so. If you cannot, fold your hands. Bless your brothers and let them go their own way. Do you hear that? Do not sit in this chat, this group chat, sitting here arguing with people that believe in Jesus. And they serious. They're not coming in here trolling, but that's really what tip they on. Don't do that. That's their path, or that's their way, that's their temperament. Don't try to make them come into the occult. Leave them folks the fuck alone, man. Oh yeah, we Polynesians used to eat rats, but our rats didn't live in the garbage cans and were healthy enough to eat. Well, goddamn, Lisa. See, now from American perspective, growing up in America, we like, oh hell no. But from that perspective of how y'all living, that may be different, because out here in the country, people will eat possums. People will eat rabbits. People will eat raccoon. You see what I'm saying? What was the funny say? Yeah, be nice to the Jesus people. I just met a Polynesian the other day. We had a good ass conversation too. Random as hell, but it was a good ass conversation. Cool said Polynesians, my nigga. Polynesians, my niggas. Facts, they just performing a bhakti. That's what the Jesus people is doing. Let them do their thing. Now, occasionally me, that's just my personality. I'll make a little joke here and there, but that's just a joke. It's not to drag down, and condemning is not the way to work. Never is work accomplished in that way. Uh-oh. We spend our energies in condemning others. Criticism and condemnation are a vain way of spending our energies. For in the long run, we come to learn that all are seeking the same thing. 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 Are more or less approaching the same ideal, and that most of our differences are merely differences of expression. All right. Take the idea of sin. I was telling you just now the Vedic idea of it. The Vedic idea of it. The other view is that man is a sinner, right? They are practically the same. Only the one takes the positive and the other the negative side. One shows man his strength and the other his weakness. You see what I'm saying? Born sinner, it's already starting off showing you your weakness. It's already starting off that you are weak and you are a sinner. All right? There may be weakness, says Vedanta, but never mind. We want to grow. Disease existed in man as soon as he was born. Everyone knows his disease. It requires no one to tell us what our diseases are. But thinking all the time that we are diseased will not cure us. What's necessary? Medicine is necessary. And in our hearts of hearts, we all know our weakness. But says Vedanta, being reminded of weakness does not help much. Give strength. And strength does not come by thinking of weakness all the time. What did I tell you? It's about your mental impressions. If you sitting and thinking, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad. This ain't what we on over here on this channel. We ain't pushing like that. Cosmic puzzle piece, what's happening? No, you're really right, bro. You're really right. I like this whole goddamn thing. You're really right. Shit, man. I just gotta put a what's the name around that whole thing? A bracket around it. You're really right. I like the whole goddamn thing. But Vedanta says being reminded of weakness does not help much. Give strength, and strength does not come by thinking of weakness all the time. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but thinking of strength. Strength. Teach men of the strength that is already within him, instead of telling them that they are sinners. Vedanta takes the opposite position and says, you are pure and perfect, and what you call sin does not belong to you. Yeah, you highlighting that for sure. Vedanta takes the opposite and says, you are pure and perfect, and what you call sin does not belong to you. Sins are very low degrees of self-manifestation. Manifest the self in a high degree. That is the one thing to remember. All of us can do that. Never say never. Never, never say no. Never say I can't. Damn. Never say no. Never say I cannot, for you are infinite. Even time and space are as nothing compared with your nature. Even time and space is nothing compared with your true nature. You can do anything and everything. You are almighty. These are the principles of ethics. But we shall now come down lower and work out the details. We shall see how Vedanta can be carried into our everyday life, the city life, the country life, the national life, and the home life of every nation. For if a religion cannot help a man wherever he may be, wherever he stands, it is not much of use. It will remain only a theory for the chosen few. We are talking practicality. All right? Hopefully, y'all ready. Let me take a sip of my water and check these comments. Oh shit. Okay, it says YouTube keeps deleting my comment/link. Maybe I should try dropping the link to my channel in the comment section. Yeah, okay, yeah, do that. Do that. It probably is gonna do that. Yep. It probably is gonna do that. Yeah, so go drop it in the regular comments. Or can you do that right now while the live stream is going? I'm not sure. Maybe you can. So y'all who watching the replay of this video, Gaia the Sage will have a YouTube channel placed inside of the regular comments, not the live chat comments. So when Gaia does that, I'm gonna go check Gaia page out. Really appreciate you for joining us, Gaia. The Bible is God's word. All your answers will be found in the book of God. It is true scripture. In Jesus' name. One book. Okay, Spartan. That's what's up. Man, that's fire though, right there. I gotta highlight that. For if a religion cannot help a man wherever he may be, wherever he stands, it is not such use. It will remain only a theory for a chosen few. That's why I fuck with shit like this, bro, because a lot of shit is just not practical. I like doing shit that I can see an immediate change within my life. You know what I'm saying? I even like it to be simple. That's what I'm telling you. This Vedanta shit is simple. You don't have to know a shit ton of shit. A lot of people get caught up in knowing a shit ton of shit. Just a whole bunch of shit. And that's why I keep telling people the human mind, it wants to attach itself to a whole bunch of shit. That's what you have to get away from. Because it's already going to do that naturally. So if you keep attaching a whole bunch of shit like, oh, I gotta learn this, oh, I gotta learn this, I gotta learn this, I gotta learn this, and then I'll be spiritually advanced. Maybe you don't say that with your mouth, but your inner thoughts say that. I don't know this, man. I'm trying to get advanced like you is. Man, I'm trying to get advanced like you. I'm trying to get like you on the level that you want. What level? What level? There's no level. All I did was remove the sheaths of ignorance. All I did was move the coverings of ignorance. You thinking people on different levels because they learn more, they know more shit. It's not what it's about. It's not what it's about, bro. You're gonna get caught up in that shit. I hope you're listening. Don't get me wrong, we learning shit here and we talking about a lot of shit, but what's the ultimate truth? To realizing that you are that self, the ever unchanging, changeless one, the pure observer, the silent witness of all of manifestation. That is you. All right. He's finna start giving some practical ideas. Let's see what practicality he has for us. Spartan of God. Greg, brother, the scriptures of Jeremiah 8, Daniel 7, Matthew 2, it is a real eye opener. See, you see how Lisa came in and put in things for that coincided with Spartan instead of bashing Spartan. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that we got going on over here. That's the type of shit that I like to see. QTGS says, I did that for years. It's only knowing that I'm working on keeping it simple. That's it. That's it. Cosmopolitan says, these book reads, you're doing a shifting in my life almost instantly. Love this. Facts, bro. Same here when I start running into these books. Like instant shift. Instant shift. You see what I'm saying? Instant. That shit be instant. So if you just joined, please hit that like button. If you just joined, please hit that like button. If you just joined, please hit that like button. Check out the comments. You see what people saying in here? They keeping it real. Ain't no folly. Ain't nobody. These are not paid actors. These are not paid actors in the chat. This is really how people is really living. God will show you what He wants you to know. To read poems all over 2 or 3 weeks. He revealed the answer to your promise. Jesus, in Jesus' name. Okay. The haters don't want to hear it, but Thelma is the religion the Swami is referring to. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm well educated on the Thelma. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that Did Aleister Crowley make mention of that? Lisa says, Spartan, I'd rather listen to the host right now. Did that. But yes, Spartan, you got your love and peace and your welcoming, you know what I'm saying, with in alignment with what you know, you rock with, and appreciate you for being peaceful, not coming over here and being bashful, because this may be something different than what you're used to. Okay, okay, Rosa Flame, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know little. I know little. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough to speak on with authority with. I know little. I know like a holistic overview of what um Crowley dealt with. So you know Crowley got a lot of shit from the oh damn, then there you go. You saying the same shit I was finna say. The book of law says exactly the same this is saying. Exactly. So you see what I'm saying? You know where they got it from. Or I ain't even gotta say that he stole it. What if it's just a common thing that people come into and get an understanding of when they tap into that understanding? You see what I'm saying? Some can say he stole it, you know, and my whole life the whole life I've been into it, I say the motherfucker stole it, but I could be completely wrong. See how I can come out and just say I could be completely wrong. There's nothing wrong with that because we don't care about going around and bash people saying what they did. All we care about is the principle. All we care about is self realization. You see what I'm saying? And if it gives you that power, power to you. See, then Coop saying Thelma did a lot for me. See what I'm saying? That's what we care about. Is it doing something for you? Yeah, it's been around for before him for sure. Yeah, yeah, nah, most facts. Facts. And that's what I like to tell people. I'm like, listen, bro, any person that you tuning into on YouTube, any person with a spiritual system, any person that's a guru now, that was guru then, peep the game. Nobody is teaching you anything new. Maybe different, newer methods, but there's nothing being taught that's new. It's all the same thing. All of these teachings are the same thing, bro. From Christianity to the occult, to the Thelma system, to the Vedanta system, to the Kabbalists, to the Jews, to the Jainism, to the Buddhist. Nobody's teaching you nothing new, man. To the Kemet shit. Nobody's teaching you nothing new. It's the same shit. Now you will find differences in methodologies and traditions and superstitions that you will find differences in. But it's differences in what? He said there's differences in degree. All right? Let's see what Rosa Flame said. Look into it more. For the Western stuff, the philosophy and practice is in alignment with the Vivekananda saying right now. And you got see what I'm saying? See, and this is how I feel like it came from how they got it from him. Oh, he said Coop teacher just said Crowley recommended Vivekananda's Raja Yoga for his students. That was actually my intro to him. There you go, right there. There you go, right there. You know what I'm saying? That's why we know, you know what I'm saying, he got a lot from it. That's how we know he got a lot from it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is 1896 right here. Let's see when he first came to America. Vivekananda brought this shit to the West. Damn, it don't tell you what year this one was. Let's see. But this is all at the time where come on, man. Well, it don't tell you. I thought it told you. Thought it told you, but you know. Thelma magic does help separate from the personality. Okay. Nothing new under the sun. Crowley was always referring to the Gunas and the other Vedic info facts. That I do know. Yeah, the AA is what will really put you on game. Okay, Alistair. Which book is this? We are reading Gyung Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Gyung Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. All right, y'all, let's go. A religion to help mankind must be ready and able to help a man in whatever conditions he may be in servitude or freedom, in the depths of degradation or in the heights of purity, everywhere, equally. It should be able to come to his aid. The ideal of Vedanta, the ideal of a religion, or whatever you may prefer to call it, will be fulfilled only if it is capable of performing this great and noble function. The ideal of faith in ourselves is of the greatest help. Faith in yourself is of the greatest help to us. If faith in ourselves had been more extensively taught and practiced, I'm sure a very large portion of the evils and miseries that we would have had, let's read that again. If faith in ourselves had been given more extensively taught and practiced, I am sure a very large portion of the evils and miseries that we have would have vanished throughout the history of mankind. If any one motive power has been more potent than others in the lives of great men and women, it is that the faith in themselves, born with a consciousness that they were to be great, they became great. Let a man go down as low as possible. Yet there must come a time when out of sheer desperation he will take an upward curve and learn to have faith in himself. Let a man go down low as possible. Yet there must come a time when, out of sheer desperation, he will take an upward curve and learn to have faith in himself. You think that is not highlightable? Because I think it's very much so. Have faith in yourself. No matter how low you go, yeah, you're going to go down low. Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? Can you bring it to the top? And you never stop? One hop. Who knew? Who knew that song? Because what is it called? Damn, I forgot it. Who knew that song was slide to the left, slide to the right, one time. Who knew that song was about spiritual accolades? Remember before they said I have faith. Remember before they slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross. Everybody clap your hands. Oh, yeah. Okay, gotta go. It's been a pleasure learning different concepts of reality. Peace and blessings on your travels, people. Much love, Lisa. Much love. All right, but it is better for us that we should know it from the very first. Faith in self is what he's saying. You should know that from the jump. Why should we have all these bitter experiences in order to gain faith in ourselves? That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm pushing over here, man. Why should we have to go through all these fucked up experiences in order to gain faith in ourselves? Stop. You don't have to no more. You don't have to no more. You don't have to keep getting your ass slapped around by Maya, by the illusion. You don't have to have that. All right? Why should we have all these bitter experiences in order to gain faith in ourselves? We can see that all the differences there is between man and man is due to the existence or non-existence of faith in himself. Faith in ourselves will do everything. I have experienced it in my own life, and I'm still doing so. And as I grow older, that faith is becoming stronger and stronger. Who here can attest to that? Faith in ourselves will do everything. I have experienced in my own life, and I am still doing so. And as I grow older, that faith is becoming stronger and stronger. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He is an atheist who does not believe in himself. The old religion say that he who did not believe in God was atheist. The new religion says that he is the atheist who does not believe in himself. But it is not selfish faith, because Vedanta, again, is a doctrine of oneness. So it's not about being prideful. It's not about being full of pride and egotistical in that sense of pride and I'm better than you. No, because Vedanta, again, is the doctrine of oneness. It means faith in all because you are all. It means faith in all because you are all. You are all. Love yourself means love for all, love for animals, love for everything, for you are all. I love chicken, so I eat it. Maybe one day I drop it. Maybe. We'll see. Love for everything, for you are all. This is the great faith which will, hold up. This is the great faith which will make the world better. I am sure of that. That's why I keep telling y'all what enemies. If you can see all is one and one is all, we don't have to go deep into it, but because we've said that a lot. Remix 46, sorry, chickens. Hey, love chickens. Sorry, out of love. Okay, spooky demon comment. Guess what hold on, what? What did I just eat? Yeah, I just had some chicken too. Okay, spooky demon comment. Guess what the demons have taught me? Believe in yourself. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. This is the energy that I work with the most right here. And she still hangs around. She still hangs around. Do you know what she has done for me? That energy, which I know is still itself, but just like let's speak for it like it's not a part of me. Let's speak like it's something outside of me for a second. La Santisa Santa Muerte has done this for me. Believe in self. It has done nothing but push me into self-belief. Ultimately brought me here to knowledge of self. I believed at first, and then I came into knowing. I superseded belief and came into knowing thyself. That is what we own now. Santisa Sancta Muerte always around. Always around with me, buddy. All right? I'm with you, is what I'm telling you, Rose of Flame. I work with a lot, but Santisa Sancta Muerte, god damn it. God damn it. God damn it, man. We are one. We are a legion. All right. We got the gang in here tonight, y'all. That's what I love, man. Love for yourself means love for all. Love for animals. Love for everything. You are the all. This is great faith, which will make the world better. I'm sure of that. Me too, Swami Vivekananda. God damn it. That's why we pushing the cosmic P. That's why we telling people to stand on principle over here on this YouTube channel. Stand on motherfucking principle. Stand on purpose. That is your standard operating procedure. That is your standard operating procedure, sir. He is the highest man. He is the highest man who can say with truth, I know all about myself. Do you know how much energy, how many powers, how many forces are still lurking within that frame of yours? What scientist has known, listen, 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 what scientist has known all that is in man? What scientist has known all that is in man? Millions of years have passed since man first came here, and yet but one infinitesimal part of his powers has been manifested. Therefore, you must not say that you are weak. How do you know what possibilities lie behind the degradation on the surface? You know but little of which is within you, for behind you is the ocean in of infinite power and blessedness. Nigga, you gotta walk around this motherfucker knowing that. What depression? What World War III can do anything to me? Huh? What? 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 Walk around knowing this. For behind you is the ocean of infinite power and blessedness. The Atman, right? That's the self. The Atman is the first to be heard of. Hear day and night that you are that soul. Repeat it to yourselves day and night till it enters into your very veins, till it tingles in every drip of blood, till it's in your flesh and bone. Let the whole body be full of that idea. I am the birthless, the deathless, the blissful, the omniscient, the omnipotent, ever glorious soul. Say that to yourself, y'all. Say that. Let that be your mantra if you need one. I am the birthless, the deathless, the blissful, the omnipotent, and the ever glorious souls. Think of it day and night. Think of it till it becomes part and parcel of your life. Meditate upon it. And out of that will come work. Out of fullness of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Out of fullness of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Out of fullness of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And out of the fullness of the heart, the hand worketh also. Action will come. Fill yourself with the ideal. It will be, remember it well before you take up any work. Remember that when you're going to work, bro, or any work. You building a cabinet, motherfucker. You cleaning up piss off the floor from your child or your dog. Remember that. Then all your actions will be glorified, transformed, deified by the very power of this thought. Do y'all? He's giving you something very practical. Don't worry, it's in a study guide. If you signed up, you get this in a basic form. It's in a study guide already. Transformed, deified through this thought. All your actions. Do you know what action is? 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 This is what he's saying. Just by that, when you do your work, you are already doing good karma. Nigga, listen, 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 listen. It's very fucking simple. This is why I like this system. It's very fucking system. You can deify the shit that you're already doing by unifying and registering and identifying with that I am the soul, the ever blissful one. Hold up. The computer screen went off. It's very fucking simple. There's your karma. Fill yourself with the ideal. Remember it well before you take up any work. Then all your actions will be glorified. All your actions, all your karma will be glorified by the very power of this thought. If matter is powerful, thought is omnipotent. Omnipotent. I'm sorry. I said that wrong up there. Not omnipotent, but omnipotent. All right? Then all your actions will be glorified, transformed, deified by the very power of this thought. If matter is powerful, thought is omnipotent. Bring this thought to bear upon your life. Fill yourself with the thoughts of your almightiness, your majesty, in your glory. That's what your thoughts will be filled with. not anything else. You can't take that away. Right. Cosmic Puzzle Piece said, this shit got me feeling like the center of the universe. Talk that shit, man. Talk that shit, man. Come on now. And that's pure P. Oh, damn, I'm missing some comments. Remix 40 said, Cosmic P. Cooper Nunda said, so P. Rosa Flame said, I believe it. I've really only said a few prayers to Santa Muerte, but she does come up often. I should be getting more on that. Okay, bet. Sean B, what's good, bruh? What's happening, bruh? What's happening, bruh? What's happening, bruh? What's happening, bruh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Make some quick moderations over here. Yeah. All right. Wood to God, no superstitions. Everywhere you go, Cosmic Puzzle Piece, make sure you standing on that motherfucking P, dog. It is. Stand on P, homie. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of spirituality mixed with a little bit of this street flavor. It is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of flavor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let that flavor marinate. It is. Let that flavor marinate. It is. You know what I mean? She got to be in you, not on you. You know what I'm saying? Would to God no superstitions have been put into your head. I don't know what that means. Would to God no superstitions have been put in your head. Would to God we have not been surrounded from our birth by all these superstitious influences and paralyzing ideas of our weakness and vileness. Would to God that mankind had an easier path. I guess he's saying like I swear to God type shit. Easier path, though, which to attain the noblest and highest truth. But man has to pass through all of this. Do not make the path more difficult for those who come after you. That's what we doing. We don't need to make this shit more difficult, bro. Remix 40 said, we ain't coming in peace. Guy to say says, street spirituality reminds me of KR1's gospel of hip hop facts. Dig that. Don't make this shit more difficult. Make this shit more simpler. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm like, hey, you don't have to know all of that extra shit. Doesn't mean you cannot know it, because it can still be useful and appropriate. But this needs to be your backdrop. This type of information needs to be your backdrop. In fact, what Remix 40 just said, we don't need anything, because we are literally everything. And some things can only give us a short amount of pleasure, never long lasting. That's why we go from one thing to the next, one thing to the next, one thing to the next, because it's not fulfilling. What's fulfilling means to feel, cannot go over. But we still going from thing to thing to thing to thing. All right? Rosa Flame said, but man has free will. Whoopsie. What does it say on Mortal Kombat? Whoopsie. 17. Okay. It changed. As soon as I said it. From understanding through understanding towards overstanding. You did. These are sometimes terrible doctrines to teach. I know people who get frightened at these ideas, but for those who want to be practical, this is the first thing to learn. Never tell yourself or others that you are weak. Do good if you can, but do not injure the world. Do good if you can, but don't injure the world, bro. That's it. That's simple, right? We can all do that. Never tell others you are weak. Do good if you can, but do not injure the world, bro. You know in your innermost heart that many of your limited ideas, you know in your innermost heart that many of your limited ideas, this humbling of yourself and praying and weeping to imaginary beings are superstitions. Uh-oh. Tell me one case where these prayers have been answered from outside. All the answers came from your own hearts. You know there are no ghosts, but no sooner are you in the dark than you feel a little creepy sensation. Hmm? That is because in your childhood you have had all of these fearful ideas put into your heads, but do not teach such things to others through fear of society and public opinion, or for fear of incurring the hatred of friends, or for fear of losing cherished superstitions. Be masters of all of these. We are reading that text again, that sentence again. That is because in your childhood, listen, that's because in your childhood, your head has been filled with all these fearful ideas put into your head. When your parents say, "Hey, no, I don't think you should do that. You should do this type. You should go to college. You should do this. You should be a doctor. You should be a lawyer. You should be in IT. You should be this. You should do that. You should do that." Stop being you and your imagination. Stop thinking like that. That's not how the word is. The word is like this. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to get a job. You need to get this type of job. You need to have this. You need to do. They put that fearful ass shit into your head. You can't be mad at your parents because they only doing it out of love, trying to protect you and want you to have, you know what I'm saying, a fairly decent life. But it's fear. You see what I'm saying? It's fear. It's fear from the way that they've seen the world. It's fear. So your parents are in fear for you of suffering inside this world. So that it's out of love, but you don't have to live in that. You don't. Do not teach these things to others. Through fear of society and public opinion, or fear of incurring the hatred of friends, or fear of losing cherished superstitions. Be masters of all of these. What is there to be taught in religion more than the oneness of the universe and of faith in oneself? What more is there to be taught? All of efforts of mankind for thousands of years past have been directed towards this one goal, and mankind is yet to work it out. It is your turn now, and you already know the truth. See, you're thinking all the ancient shits had this shit figured out. I think we are figuring it out now, in this time, this very time. I think we're figuring it out in this very time. Like I told y'all, you listening to a ex gang banging street nigga, dope selling, pistol toting police running from, sitting in front of the judge, playing with women's minds, and you know what I'm saying, stealing and doing all the fucked up shit in this world. And that's pure subjective. Anybody want to see that? But to a nigga speaking about non-dualism, having people from India, you know what I'm saying, white boys, black guys, Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? Some people who probably identify with shit from the LGBT community, all coming together in one conglomerate on this under this YouTube channel and talking about non-dual shit. You can't tell me that is not unity in the diversity. Seeing unity in the diversity. If that's not some powerful shit, we figuring it out, y'all. Congratulate yourself, right? Where everybody sitting around here talking about the word is going to shit and the word is going to trash. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Tell them my Gnosis said it. No, it ain't. You're a goddamn lying. Stop lying. It ain't. It's going exactly where the fuck it's supposed to be. Quit lying. You're lying. Stop lying. All right? All efforts of mankind for thousands of years past have been directed towards the one goal, and mankind is yet to work it out. It is your turn now, and you already know the truth. for it has been taught on all sides. Not only philosophy and psychology, but the materialistic sciences have declared it. Where is the scientific man today who fears to acknowledge the truth of oneness in the universe? Where is he? Who is there? Who dares to talk of many worlds? All these are superstitions. Nigga, what are y'all talking about? Oh, we're going to fifth dimension, sixth dimension. Oh, we're going to Mars. Oh, we're going to Andromeda. Oh, we're going to Sirius. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. There is only one life, one world. And this one life, this one word appears to us to be manifold. That's it. It's manifold. The manifoldness is like a dream. When you dream, one dream passes away and another comes. None of your dreams are real. These dreams come one after another, scene after scene unfolds before you. So it is in this world of 90% misery and 10% happiness. Perhaps after a while it will appear as 90% happiness and we shall call it heaven. But a time comes to the sage when the whole thing vanishes and the word appears as God himself in his own soul as that God. Ooh, that boy dropping them gems. That boy dropping them gems. What's happening, twin? That boy dropping them gems. Let me see. And perhaps after a while it appears as 90% happiness and we shall call it heaven. But at times come to a stage when the whole thing vanishes and the world appears as God himself and his own soul is that God. It is not true that there are many worlds. It is not true that there are many lives. All this manifoldness is the manifestation of that one. There are manifolds, there are difference in degrees of the one. It always has been one. It's going to always be one. That one is manifesting himself as many, as matter, as spirit, as mind, as thought, and everything else. Huh? Therefore, the first step for us to take is to teach the truth to ourselves and to others. What are we doing here? I don't read English and I don't know English. That's a lie. You do know it. You do know it. Obviously you do because you just wrote in English. Charlie Brown said creation of the demiurge. Hey man, the demiurge is a falsity. That's poppycock. Cosmic Puzzle Piece got y'all up out of here. Coming over here with that shit. Oh yeah, for sure. Peace, say. Yeah, I got Ganesh all over this motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's see, can I show you? Yeah, Ganesh all up here with it. Yeah, Ganesh all up here with it. Yeah, we got Ganesh every goddamn well. Yeah, we got Ganesh every goddamn well. We got Ganesh every goddamn well. Yeah, no obstacles will apprehend you. The obstacle remover. Yeah, 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 yeah. Peace to my moderators getting their ass clean the fuck up out of here. I ain't even get to see what they wrote. Get y'all ass clean the fuck up out of here. Therefore, the first step for us is to take is to teach the truth to ourselves and to others. Let the world resound with this idea and let superstitions vanish, man. Let superstitions vanish, man. Let them go, bro. Gum, gum. Put his ass on an 86,000 Cosmic Puzzle Piece, but bro, on an 86,000 second timeout. Boy, you go sit. Boy, you gotta go sit in the corner for 86,000 seconds. God damn. Boy, you in timeout for 86,000 seconds. God supposed to be said this shit is too high level for the bullshit. Facts. Facts. 86,000 seconds, nigga. Go sit your ass in the corner. Hey, you hear me roll the flame? 86,000 seconds. Nigga, I can't even count that high. I can't even count from 1 to 86,000. Fuck that. Shit, man. All right. Therefore, the first step for us to take is to teach the truth to ourselves and others. Let the word resound with this idea and let superstitions vanish. Tell it to men who are weak and persist in telling them. You are the pure one. Awake and arise, Almighty One. This sleep does not become you. Awake and arise, it does not befit you. Think not that you are weak and miserable, Almighty One. Rise and awake and manifest your true nature. It is not fitting that you think of yourself as a sinner. It is not fitting that you think of yourself as weak. Say that to the world. Say it to yourselves and see what the practical result follows. See how, with an electrical flash, the truth is manifested, how everything is changed. Tell it to men. That's why I tell y'all every time we get off of here, what do we say? No obstacles will apprehend you, prosper over pain. To the point where it sticks into you. You can't forget it. You can't forget it. You won't forget that you are that. You are that almighty one. You are not that weak one, that miserable. You are not that depressed one. You are not that sad one. You are not that bitch ass nigga. You're the realest nigga or the realest wigger. That's what thou art. Arise and waken, almighty one. Ground our kids. Go count to 86,000. Get them kids right together. Cool said, pen that comment, that statement. Damn, which one? Oh, the arise, mighty one. Let's see. Arise and awaken, mighty one. Pen to the top, dog. Yeah, yeah. Pen to the top. Where it go? Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. We penning that. Say that the world. Say that to the world. Say it to yourself and see what practical results follow. See how, with an electric flash, the truth is manifested, how everything is changed. Tell it to men and show them. And show them. We still going, y'all. Oh, okay. We got 3 more pages. And show them their power. Then they will learn to apply it in their daily life. That's what this channel is about. That's what this channel is about. There will be a course coming. There will be a course coming. There will be. This is what I want to do. This is what I feel like I had no choice but to do with my life. What's that? Tell them niggas, arise and waken, Almighty One. Ain't that the same shit Jesus did? Yeah, no, I'm not Jesus, but I'm telling you. Oh, you know what? And like, I think like, bro, when you deal with this Vedic shit and Indian shit, you know, people and like in Christianity, we talk about the year of the prophet, or there's a certain time of prophets. You see what I'm saying? In India, shit, it's always the year of the prophets, or there's always the year of the Christ. They always got like a Christ-like figure. That's why you'll find so many people that like Sri Ramana Krishna, Swami Vivekananda, Sri Sri Ramana Maharashi. I can't say his name, Maharashi. You know, they got so many ones that came with the energy of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what a guru is. This shit forever going over there. You ain't waiting till the goddamn, you know what I'm saying? It's always been happening. What's happening? Remind them of their power. They will learn how to apply it in their daily life, to be able to use it, to be able to use what we call viveka, discernment, to learn how in every moment of our lives and every one of our actions to discern between right and wrong, true and false. We shall have to know the test of truth, which is purity, oneness. Everything that makes for oneness is truth. Love is truth, and hatred is falsehood, because hatred makes for multiplicity. It is hatred that separates man from man. Therefore, it is wrong and false. It is a disintegrating power. It separates and destroys. Love unites. Love makes for that oneness. You become one. The mother with the child, families with the cities, human beings become one with the animals. For love is existing, God Himself. And all this is the manifestation of that one love, more or less expressed. The differences are only of degree. It is the manifestation, of that one love throughout. Um, World of Flame says, make me think of that meme. Where's your fucking rage? Where is your anger? Rise, rise, rise. God damn it. Therefore, in all of our actions, we have to judge whether our act is making for diversity or oneness. If it makes for diversity, we have to give it up. But for oneness, we may be sure it is good. So, with our thoughts, we have decided whether they make for disintegration, multiplicity, or for oneness, binding soul to soul, and thus generating a great force. If they do this, we will take them up, and if not, we will throw them off as wicked. Throw them off as wicked. The whole idea of Vedantic ethics is that it does not depend on anything unknowable. The whole idea of Vedanta ethics is that it does not depend on anything unknowable, nor does it teach anything unknown. On the contrary, it teaches, in the language of St. Paul, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. Cosmic Puzzleby says, existence is my child. Wow. It is through the self that you know everything. I see this chair, but to see the chair first, I have to perceive myself, then the chair. Do you get that? Do you get that? Because he just breezed over there like it was very simple, because it is very simple. But we don't see the divinity in that. I say to listen, man, let's see. Okay. It is through the self, right? That you see, that you know everything. I see the chair, but to see the chair, first I have to perceive myself, then the chair. This is what I'm talking about. Who is that I? Who is that self? Who is that self? It's always that one in the back that's never changing. The self, you know everything. I see the chair, but to see the chair first, I have to perceive myself, then the chair. It is in and through the self that the chair is perceived. It is in and through the self that the chair is perceived. That's why I say all exists within consciousness. There is nothing outside of consciousness. Everything is within consciousness. It's only consciousness. It's only consciousness. Consciousness does not rise and fall. You're not raising your consciousness. You are not. We're misconceiving consciousness with the mind. The mind does all of that. Consciousness is always there, even when you don't know. You are aware that you don't know. What is consciousness? Awareness. So even in your ignorance, you are divine still. Please, people. Please, people. I'm telling you, it's very fucking simple. Your divinity is so fucking simple. What ritual do I need to do to come into that realization? Because it's always there. In and in and through the never changing self. Know thyself. That's what they meant, man. We thought it meant something else. This is what they mean. It is in and through the self that you are known to me. It is in and through the self that you are known to me. The whole world is known to me. And therefore to say that the self is unknown is sheer nonsense. Take away the self and the whole universe vanishes. In and through the self, all knowledge comes. Therefore, it is the best known of all. It is yourself, that which you call I. Uh-oh. You may wonder how this I of me can be the I of you. You may wonder how this limited I can be the unlimited infinite. But it is so. The limited I is a mere fiction. That's the ego. The limited I is a mere fiction. The infinite has been covered up, as it were, in the little in a little of it is being manifested as the I. Limitation can never come upon the unlimited. It is a fiction. The self is known. Therefore, to every one of us, man, woman, or child, and even to the animals, without knowing it, we can neither live nor move nor have our being without knowing the Lord of all. We cannot breathe or live a second. The God of Vedanta is the most known of all and is not the outcome of imagination. If this is not preaching a practical God, how else could you preach a practical God, man? Do you see this, bro? Tell bro he ain't on some sheer nonsense. Kabbalion. He ain't even on some sheer nonsense. Uh-oh. We can't read Arabic, but peace. If this is not preaching a practical God, how else could you preach a practical God? Where is there a more practical God than him who I see before me? A God omnipresent in every being, more real than anything we see through our senses. For you are he, the omnipresent God Almighty. And if I say you are not, I tell a untruth. I know it. Whether at all times I realize it or not, he is the oneness, the unity of all, the reality of all life and all existence. These ideas, these ideas of the ethics of Vedanta have to be worked out in detail. And therefore, you must have patience. As I have told you, you want to take the subject into detail and work it out thoroughly to see how these ideas have grown from a very low level, how the one great idea of oneness has developed and became shaped into the universal love. We ought to study all these in order to avoid dangers. Tell bro he been on some sheer nonsense. Gotcha, Rose and Flame. He had been on some sheer nonsense, bro. Trying to step into the real sense. You're not in your senses. You're not in your senses. Binge clot. But some Mexican dude going around Texas doing people like that, acting like he Indian. Bro, that shit is funny as hell. You're not in your senses. Bloody fuck you, motherfucker. You're not in your senses. Your senses work out from the lowest steps. But what